and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's David Palmer, the Leo King, and we're here live for Deep Astrology back here at the High Vibe Leo King Studios. Thank you so much for being here for this week of February the 12th through the 18th of 2019. Wow, well, you know, if you've never watched the show, this is where I live stream, and more importantly, I channel the astrology horoscope of the week straight to you, and then we go deep into the charts, where that's provided by AstroGold. AstroGold is the best astrology charts out there. Go check them out on iOS, Android, and for your Mac. And if you're on PC, go to SolarFire. We have a lot to talk about this week because one of the biggest shifts is happening in astrology. Number one is Chiron is leaving Pisces. Hell yes! I mean, I don't know if I'm too excited with Chiron and Aries yet, but we'll talk about that in a second. But Chiron has been in Pisces since the beginning when it first made its entrance in 2011, and then it kind of teeter-tottered back. And then in 2012, you know, we really started to feel Chiron and Pisces, the weirdo in the zodiac, in the weirdest kind of multidimensional, sensitive sign of Pisces. This has been a very, very humbling, difficult transit, especially as Chiron has been at the last degree of the zodiac, Pisces. We have never consciously, as human beings, ever experienced this, since Chiron is a 50-year orbit, and Chiron was found in 1977. So, very weird to finally have Chiron at the end of this week finally come out of Pisces. But this is a true test of, you know, surrender, trust in that the universe isn't screwing you over, or that the universe is like, you know, throwing things away that you don't want to. It's about learning to truly see how to heal yourself by really learning the art of surrender, seeing that some things in life don't work out for a higher purpose, no matter how much our ego wants it, no matter how much we think we are geniuses with this sun in Aquarius, no matter how much this moon in Taurus squaring the sun in Aquarius to start this week off has been about. No matter how much I want it, how much value I have to it, no matter how much I see all these awesome connections, oh gosh, maybe just some things aren't meant to work out. And then there's other things that are so meant to work out, and we are stepping into our power in that way. But I will say that when it comes to the feeling, when it comes to the oversensitivity about things, or loss of things, or even coming to the line when it comes to total trust and surrender in the universe of like, am I going to be okay? This is the ultimate of ultimates. But there's this sense of that so many good things are happening on the horizon. Mars is conjunct Uranus for the last time in Aries for the next 70 years. So we have two major transits that are going to not happen for literally decades upon decades upon decades happening this week. Mars in its home sign of Aries at the last degree. Now, whenever Mars is by itself on any last degree, it is intense. And it's on top of Uranus, which is at the last degree of Aries. This is the last of this Uranus-Aries because we are only weeks away from Uranus moving into Taurus for 7 years and not coming back into Aries for another 70 plus years. And so this is a very big test. While our drive, our future, our ambition, our strength, our wants, our needs, we see this exciting electric future, especially as the sun is in Aquarius, right? Seeing the future, starting to put things together. There's this weird thing going on. As Chiron is at 29 degrees, Mars-Uranus is at 29 degrees, the sun is coming to 29 degrees this week. They're all making semi-sextiles, 30-degree angles to this Chiron. This is some weird stuff going on here with Chiron. Plus, if you really look at this weird energy, you have to realize that there's all this like excitement in the middle of watching things just that we really wanted fall away. And also, I think learning how to just go with the flow, and no matter how weird things are, if you just keep pushing forward and trusting, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And I think that this week, out of all weeks, with all this excitement of Mars on top of Uranus, this is the last time we're going to see this amplification on Uranus and Aries. Uranus and Aries has been teaching you since literally 2010 when it entered. It's been teaching you about how to find your strength to move into the future, to find your courage. And what is this ultimate last test? The courage through trusting divine order, the trusting in listening not of what your ego wants, but what the universe wants. Even if it looks screwed up, even if it doesn't look like you even want it to go that way, the universe is like, hey, do you really trust me? Prime creator, God, wherever you want to call it, is saying, do you really trust me? And trust is a big thing, especially with our belief systems. Jupiter this week comes to 20 degrees. It comes to the last decan of Sagittarius. So we're coming into these bigger moments here of expansion in our life. And it's starting to get really intense. Remember, all the planets are still direct. Okay? We don't have any retrogrades yet. So this is a time in your life to realize everything is moving forward, but why do you want to go backwards? Why do you get to this line when you see the future? Why do you really think like, well, maybe it's all not working out, or, oh gosh, it's starting to close on me, my finances might not be looking good, or this relationship that I thought was going to look good doesn't look like it's going to go good, so maybe, or I'm going to just try and fix everything and go backwards. This is a moment where we all have to trust, no matter how weird the scenarios look, to move forward through it. I mean, it's like the last big veil of this beautiful new energy. And I really feel that this Mars-Uranus test is major, because we have to realize that even Uranus is a higher power. It is it's an outer planet. It is dealing with having to see things from a higher perspective. And when you've got Chiron at the end of Pisces, that's kind of more of a higher perspective, but from the lowest places. When you feel that you are at the end. I mean, imagine what it's like on Earth, and especially if you were like some Cro-Magnon human, and literally you'd be like, let's say if it was your first day on Earth and you were conscious, and it was a beautiful day, and you started at like 8 in the morning, and then what happened at 8 p.m.? It gets dark. Okay. There'd be that waiting of like, when does the sun come back up? I'm getting cold. Things are not feeling right. And that's why the last degree of Pisces is so intense, because it is your ultimate surrender. It is the ultimate, I don't know why, if you've ever seen The Count of Monte Cristo, I love that movie. It is about a guy who literally gets, basically screwed over by a guy who's jealous about him, and basically gets thrown into a prison for doing something he doesn't do, and has to sit in that prison for years and years and years and escape. And what does he do? He goes back for revenge and finds a treasure and finds a way to, come back and expose this guy. But the whole process of how awesome his life goes, and then he gets his girl back, because the guy stole his girl too. I mean, these are kind of Chiron Pisces situations, or, things where you just feel like it's not going to all work out, whether it's a health situation, or, I've been seeing situations all over of people going through really weird tests, not only in their health, or tests spiritually, or tests financially, or tests in, deaths in the family, or people who are really sick, or, there's a lot of these weird situations that come up. And you have to see that on the other side of this is way more beautiful than you've ever even can comprehend. So this is an important moment for everybody to realize at the very last moment, before it shifts, why do you want to go backwards? Why? It's an ego thing. Oh, I think that maybe I know better. It's not looking like it's going good. It's not looking like I'll be able to push through this, so I'm going to go back. This is your test of realizing that you have to get out of your own way. And the only thing that you have to do is just keep pushing forward in your life. Now, even weirder this week is Mars is leaving Aries and coming into Taurus, its detriment sign, where it slows things down. Okay? So when you get this slowdown, Mars wants to enrich itself now in good food and good energy and feeling right. And, Mars is a warrior. So imagine wherever Mars is at. When Mars is in Aries, he puts on his his, Troy outfit, and he gets his sword out, and he's charging the battlefield. When he gets into Taurus, it's kind of like, gosh, I'm hungry, or, oh man, I need to take a minute to take a break. I need to take a break for a second. I just ran all the way here. I just came across the oceans. I just, got all my energy on. I need to make sure I have fuel. I need to make sure that I have, is this worth it? That's why the Taurus comes after Aries, by the way. We might jump into things, but then we always reevaluate with, is this really worth my time, my energy? Because I'm about to spend a bunch of energy on this to create this. So Mars in Taurus is slowing things down here to kind of say, all right, we're pushing through this veil. It's time for us to really see what we can manifest now in the most beautiful way, what we can create. And Mars in Taurus is at detriment because it takes some time, a little bit, especially if you look at, I don't know, a Da Vinci painting. Do you think Da Vinci just one night just drank a bunch of wine, just started doodling on some piece of canvas? No, that thing took a while. I guarantee it. And I'm not trying to sell suits here, but I'm trying to tell you that Mars in Taurus teaches us that for great things, it takes time. And I know that with Saturn that's been in Capricorn, and with Pluto in Capricorn, with the South Node of Capricorn, we just went through all of January with the sun there and with the eclipse in Capricorn. Patience has been something that we're all just kind of over. But guess what? More patience, but patience in a better way. Actually seeing the things going forward, but you know what? It's like seeing this course out this week of Chiron is going to leave Pisces. All the stuff that is not meant to be is flowing out of our lives. And this is how we heal. But when you add Jupiter, 20 degrees, bam, last decan this week, really about the bigger parts of expansion in a much more intense way. Then you add to the aspect of Mars now, which by the way is going to make a semi-square over to Neptune, exactly, that we can be a little bit confused, is this all good for me? Did I make the right choice? And I think that this is so weird to get this element before Chiron leaves Pisces. I think that this is really where, if you look at where Chiron left Pisces in 1969 on January, I think it was, when we did it, it was January 30th of 69. People went into the 70s going, I don't know. Why do you think people in the 70s had long hair? And why do you think all the cars in the 70s are really weird and ugly? That's Chiron and Aries. Guess what? We're all going to be looking at our pictures over the next 8 years of Chiron and Aries and going, where was that fashion? If you thought Lady Gaga and her meat suit was freaking crazy, wait till you see what's coming out in the next 8 years and we'll all look back and go, yeah, that's the thing that's in the back of my closet. I wore that in the 2020s. So I think that there's a big part of this weirdness with Mars and Taurus saying, hey, did I make the right choice in my life and who I am? Is it really worth this? We have to trust that we know the value of things. And that's why this moon this week actually started with a square in Taurus, right, to the sun in Aquarius, because the moon is exalted here. We've had to learn since the beginning of this week that, you know what, even if we don't understand why things are going the way they are, and we're trying our best, or we try to fix things, if it's not worthy of it, and worth is a hard thing. Knowing your value is a very hard thing because you have to set the bar, right? I look at George Clooney, who's a Taurus, by the way, and he created some tequila line. I mean, really? This dude shows up with a tequila line and charges astronomical prices, is now the #1 actor of the world off grossing income, not from his acting, but from his tequila. I mean, it's like when you create something and you just say, yeah, it's worth this much. This tests people and whether or not they really own the quality of the life in which they really are going to step into or not, or do they have really deep self-worth issues. And this is the first time that Mars has actually come into Taurus since the 1930s, where Uranus has been. Remember, Uranus entered Taurus for a little part of 2018 when it came in May of 2018 at 0 degree. Mars is going to start bringing up a lot of the crazy stuff when it came to your value, your worth, and your ability to manifest in new ways and finally start to understand and own it more. But this will be a big test because Mars is strength and courage and this warrior element. And with Neptune semi-square, you got to have the power to trust in your value, to create, to manifest, and to push through this energy this week. And especially with the sun on its way to sextiling Uranus, this is a very big week because there is all possibilities that could happen. Unpredictability at highest form. Mercury, remember, is in Pisces, and this week it's getting closer and closer and closer to Neptune. So when it comes to the confusion element with Chiron at the end of the whole zodiac, Neptune's here in Pisces and Mercury keeps coming. And remember, Mercury's at fall position. That means it's not happy in Pisces because no Mercury energy wants to be in the ocean. Like, why do you think whenever we think about the stars and we think about looking in the universe, why do you think nobody's really looking in the ocean? 75% of this earth is ocean and we don't know crap dilly squat about it. Like the only person I think that really knows anything is like James Cameron, you know, getting down there to Titanic and stuff. But why do you think it's so hard to find like a lost ship? Because the murkiness of water and our emotions and our sensitivities are very hard to understand. It's much easier with Mercury and Aquarius to go look up at the sky because like everything's there, you know, but it's like a little bit more intricate of like, oh, it might take a little bit more time to like figure out, you know, what this constellation is and what is that? Is that a star? Is that a planet or whatever? At least it's shown. But when Mercury's in Pisces, it's like, put your head under the water with no goggles on. And, you know, it's like I grew up swimming and playing water polo my whole life. And guess what? We didn't wear goggles. Goggles are for like, you know, kids that swim in the baby pool. If you're a swimmer, I know all my swimmers out there understand this. We put our eyes open in chlorine. We don't care because we want to race as fast as we can. And I think that there's a little bit of this chlorine in your eyes that you need to start to get used to and start to learn how to see and perceive things instead of going, I can't do this because I don't understand. I need goggles. Well, there's no goggles. I'm sorry. There's no goggles. I remember every swim coach being like, get those goggles off and just get there and swim. There's no goggles in water polo. Sorry. Water gets splashed in your face and you just gotta like still throw the ball over or throw a goal in. So there's a lot of this like murkiness going around and it's you getting overhyped of like, I don't understand or why? It's like, you know what? Just go with the flow of the universe. See whatever's there and start going there. Trust in your guides. Trust in what is intuitively being called to you. Because Mercury's stuck here for over 60 days. Because guess where Mercury's going retrograde? It's going retrograde the very beginning of March in Pisces, at the last degree of the zodiac where Chiron is going to leave this week. Which is another, I'll be honest, hard position coming. All I'm trying to say is that this week, when you look at the whole astrology, with the moon in Cancer, with the sun finishing in Aquarius, these are two oddballs. The Aquarius does not want emotion, right? Aquarius wants to like go have connecting with people and serve water as the water bearer and not get all emotional and feel bad that like I gave this person this water and then I was moving to the next person and they said, I haven't drank in 2 days. Can I get a little more? But then the person in front of that needs water too. So why do you think Aquarius pours water and moves to the next person? And it keeps moving forward. Because if we get our emotions so caught up in the past, so caught up in what we could have done different, what we are guilty of, or what we don't feel like something didn't work out right, or maybe I could fix this, especially with all this Aquarius and Uranus and Sun sextile Uranus. Oh, yeah, I could fix this. I could go back to the past. I could have done this different. All of it is already written on the freaking record. So if you want to like be a great DJ scratcher, have fun all day, but I know as a DJ, you only scratch at little moments in the mix. You don't scratch the whole time because listening to scratch battles all night is like literally listening to somebody on a guitar just strumming it and then breaking it. You know, it's like not putting down scratch DJs because they know what's up. I'm just saying like if it's just scratching the record the whole time, it's not a mix. Are you just scratching your record forward and back? Like, wait, I want to go forward in my life. Wait, no. And so all you are is sitting there scratching the record, and nobody wants to do that, and the needle's going to break, and more importantly, you're not even listening to a song anymore. Are you going to let the song play in your life? Instead of trying to go, oh, wait, if I go back in the record, I just want to, like, maybe I can dance a little bit better. Like, no. This is us moving forward. Aquarius is about moving forward. Mars and Uranus conjunct is about moving forward because we have a whole new world. We have a whole new direction. And whatever didn't work out with Chiron at the end of Pisces, I'm sorry to say, but the universe has wrapped that thing up and said, like, yep, I'm already shipping it off to get it out of your life. So if you want to go chase down a FedEx or UPS driver in the middle of the snow and run after them for a package that's probably, when you get it back anyway, you're going to open it and you're going to remember how bad it smells, how bad it tastes, and how stale it is in your life, go right ahead. Oh my gosh. So before we go in these charts, I'll just finish with like this last segment here. Moon in Cancer, because we were talking about how Aquarius likes to move forward and can't get emotional. But here's the North Node. Here's the Moon in Cancer. It's going to make a nice sextile over to Mars. It's going to make this, the Moon's going to also be in Gemini. There's a lot of questions. And this Moon in Gemini, actually even before the Moon in Cancer, emotionally and mentally, we are this week going through mental emotional chaos in ourselves and how to move forward and what to move forward in. And I think that for you, it's about, like, are you just trying to go repeat the past? If you are doing anything right now that is moving into a place that you've never tried before, never been before, and really done it this way, and it all feels in true alignment, but you're just like in a place of the hangman, or you're just in a place of confusion and kind of like, I don't know, it's because you keep wanting to go backwards. It's like people who go, maybe I should just go back again and go try that again. Maybe I'll fix it this time. This is saying, no, go forward. And I'm trying to help people go forward because this new world with all this Capricorn energy is changing. And you know what? I hate to use this analogy, but I was talking to my dad tonight about life and everything, and you know what? Life is all about timing. And so instead of you thinking, oh, I can go back now because now the timing's right to go back to something that didn't already work out, or at least show some sort of thing working out, and go back to the past. With Mars coming on the 0-degree part of Taurus, it's going to bring back up all the stuff from May and into June. As Mars this week goes to 2 degrees, guess what? You're going to be bringing up what all of 2018 was about. Are you going to go back into 2018 situations? So the main thing when I say, oh, you're going back to the past, or you're going to try and go back to the past, I bet you I'll use like 1 trillion whatevers, because I already know someone will try and screw me over. So we'll just say like, call blah, blah, please. 1 trillion of those that your past that you're trying to go replay is from 2018, from where you were in your life in May and June and even possibly July of 2018. I bet you. Don't go back there. Don't go back to that space. That space is not where you want to go. Trust me. I will just give you all the astrology information that I can in my life. Do not go back there. Please. I'm trying to tell you. Because Mars, for some reason, thinks that he's got his, ego, and he just took some Viagra, and he thinks that he can go back there, and somehow it's all going to work out this time. But in Taurus, it's really going to be like, yo, this wasn't really, the best. So you'll go back there, and you'll be like, what am I doing here? If you really think you can go back to that time and change things, maybe miracles do happen. I know miracles happen all the time in life, but I know that they don't happen by, going to the past to try and redo things. Oh, it'll change now. Pisces is patterns. The only way we change patterns is by stopping them and moving on, And I think that it's important for us to really pay attention to that. Because this end of Chiron is going to get really intense. I mean, here we are talking on Tuesday night. By Monday, it's in Aries. So from now until through this weekend, and especially middle of the week, the moon's going to be in Gemini, squaring Mercury, squaring Neptune, squaring Chiron for the last time. Talk about you getting confused about the past. Are you trying to figure things out about the past? Are you trying to run down the road from where you were in May, June, and July of all the weirdness that happened with Uranus that went to 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. So I guess you can do it this way, 1, 2, and 3 degree, but actually it's 0, 1, and 2 in actual tropical astrology. You want to go back to that time? Well, Mars is here to see if your ego will do that, while Chiron's trying to say, hey, let your ego go. Especially as, Mars is semi-sextiling to Chiron, saying like, if you really think that you are bold enough to have the whatever tools now is necessary to do it, I'm here to kind of throw you off. And we got to end with Venus. At the same time that all this is going on this week, Venus is getting closer to Saturn. And Venus and Saturn do not have a fun relationship. Because Venus is Libra and Taurus, right? And what is Saturn? Rules, laws, restrictions. Venus would rather go build whatever it wants, have as much money as it wants. Libra would rather just go into relationships that are perfect and have nice sunsets on the beach every day. But Saturn is the reminder of reality. There's a reality. And especially as it's getting more powerful, getting closer and closer to the South Node and Pluto, which, by the way, I forgot to mention that this week Pluto is at 22 degrees. Welcome to a new place for Pluto that we haven't seen since the Boston Tea Party. For real. 21, I think it's like 34 or 54 minutes is where the Boston Tea Party happened. We just hit that space. And so, as a country, as a world, as a universe, we're in new territory of even going deeper into the system and the changes in the world and the changes we need to make in ourselves. And this is about making those changes. And reality is a big check with Venus conjunct Saturn at the same time that Chiron's leaving Pisces and Mars comes to this 1 and 2 degrees of where Uranus was in May, June, and July of 2018. So why go backwards when Venus is going to remind you about reality all over again while it hits Saturn? Especially Venus is in Capricorn. With Saturn there, it's not like about fun and games or thinking that, you're just going to be able to it's going to be sweet tea and honey on the other side. It's work. And if you just want to go to work and maybe turn into kind of just doing a bunch of work and it's not going to really do where you want to go, because what we really want to go is true happiness. Where we really want to go is the best life. You already know the way that the cards played out last year at that time. So, do you really want to go back? It's kind of I'm going to say this last story, we're going to the charts. It's kind of like being at a roulette wheel. I was my brother's bachelor party. I'm with my buddy Christian. I'm with some other people. And here we are playing roulette, and we are way up in the thousands. We were running that table. And there we were going, why don't we all just put all of our money on black? Because, now with roulette, they actually show, the LED screen with, what the last, 12, where the ball landed on, right? So it was hitting black, 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 and we were killing it. We were hitting on odd odds all the time. We were hitting on evens, and we thought we were smart enough to follow the pattern, right? We thought we were geniuses. So there we are. We put $3,000 on black, lost it all. Because out of nowhere it went red. So you know what we did? Oh, we ran to the ATM. Okay? Even though we only started out with $100, there we are thinking we're smart. Oh, okay, we'll max out the ATM. We took out $400 a piece, put it all in black again, lost it all. So what I'm trying to tell you is, no matter how you think you understand this pattern or you think you're smarter than the pattern, I'm sorry to tell you that right when you think you're going to be able to go put it on black because it's been doing it or it's been looking lately like it's going this right direction, even though things in May, June, and July showed you everything and where it's really going of 2018, don't even go back to the ATM and lose that money. You already lost $3,000. Why go back? Venus and Saturn can teach us amazing lessons, though. Venus and Saturn can say that if we dedicate ourselves to our long-term path and we actually put our best energy forward, when it comes to relationships, too, this is Venus and it's on Saturn. Reality check, which ones are going in the direction that we want to go in our life and which ones are not? Which ones are the best for us in the long run? Mars as well. And you know, this is Valentine's Day week. I might as well bring that up real quick. Mars comes into Taurus on Valentine's Day in the middle of Chiron at the end of Pisces. So if this Valentine's Day doesn't feel like the most romantic thing in the world to all the ladies out there or the men or whoever out there is trying to like make this the most romantic thing in the whole world, hey, guess what? Nobody's really in that like vibe to where it's going to like be perfect. We're all going through the biggest, longest, you know, big major transits that are ending. Chiron, which will not be at 29 degrees, Pisces for 50 years, you know, Mars and Uranus, which won't come together, and Aries together for another 70 plus years. Like, I'm just trying to tell you, we're all at the end of our ropes. We're all at the end of like trying to figure this thing out. We're all swimming in the pool without goggles on. Like, I'm sorry, you know, with Mars coming into Taurus, we bringing up all the stuff from the last year in the past where we all have been wondering what the hell's been going on, why we came into 2019. It's been so crazy. There's been all these eclipses, and the moon's coming into Leo this weekend. The moon during this whole entire Valentine's Day is the end of Gemini, squaring Chiron and squaring the Mercury. Like, I'm sorry to say, like, this is like, and I'm going to say this just so everybody knows, the sun's in Aquarius during February, okay, during the 14th. Like Valentine's Day never feels like love because Aquarius is much more about friendship and about camaraderie and like, it's not this romantic thing. I'm not saying that Aquariuses are romantic because I have known some of the most romantic Aquariuses in the world. But I'm just trying to tell you that the time is in which, where I think that we have taken this day and tried to force love on things, when this weekend, when finally the moon comes out of Cancer, it does come into Leo, and it will square Mars in Taurus, and it will really show us what true love is, which the true love in life on this Valentine's Day is your dedication to a higher cause, your dedication to the love for yourself, the love for your connection to the universe, and your love for the divine timing and where the universe is taking you. Not how you are in control of what time, what gift was given to you or not given to you, and how the dinner went, and whether or not you got fucked at the end of the night because of whatever drink that you had or whatever, or how well it was set. I'm just here to tell you, this is not that time if you want to go sit into that vibe, because we are all moving to a whole nother place. And this is where, like, when it comes to the whole new world, why do you think every holiday nowadays just comes and goes and it doesn't feel the same anymore? It's because they all weren't really divinely timed in the best way in the calendar system, which has been screwing us up for a long time. Let's get to the charts. Ugh. All right, now where are we? We gotta go here. So, before we start this, I'm just taking a second because I literally just drove back from Sacramento and got right here on stage. So I've been driving for like 8 hours today. And then on top of it, I want to say thank you to everybody that was at the meet and greet last night in Sacramento and hung out with us. It was so much fun, and I want to say thank you to everybody at Good Day Sacramento for having me on the TV show. It was super fun, and it's just been pretty crazy, and it's been really fun to do all these shows lately. And we got some awesome big shows coming up to announce to you all, and I'm going to be planning meet and greets in all the cities of all the shows I'm going on. So definitely look out for that. Follow me on Instagram. I'm putting all that stuff up. So let's take a look at the charts. So here's for today. There's the moon in Taurus, finishing out as the moon's ready to come into Gemini Wednesday and into Thursday. So Valentine's Day, sorry to say, and I'll show you guys in the chart, the moon will be in a really weird place. But the big news of this moon in Taurus as it just squared this sun in Aquarius was, you know what? What's not working to bring you where you really want to go and the best feeling, okay? This is time for you to follow your feelings. That is the best. And not follow feelings that are going to take you backward, but forward. Because Mars and Uranus are conjuncting here in Aries for the last time for the next 7 decades plus. And Mars and Aries, and Mars and Uranus, right? They definitely deal with moving forward and moving into a higher realm. And in Aries, it's about a higher realm of our identity. We have worked a decade almost on really understanding who we are as an individual and understanding what our ego is, not in the ego way of what I want and who I am and what car and blah, blah, blah. There's been more of this understanding of your courage and your confidence to be a leader, to show up to this new earth, to show up to this new world. I mean, this has been talked about for decades with the channelers, whether it's Barbara Marciak with the Bringers of the Dawn, or you can go into the Seth book series. You can go into any of these channeling elements. I'm sorry to say, but they were all right. Like, this is the move to the light, but this is the move now, where you as an individual have to show up and be the light. That's what I think Mars and Uranus at the end of Aries is like, are you a light worker? And are you going to move forward and are you going to get over all of your own sensitive bullshit that ain't working out because it's actually not on the path of whatever the true light work is and the higher calling? Like, it makes it difficult. But it's very simple. Mars just has to listen to Uranus, who knows what's going on at the end of Aries, and be like, hey, you know what? You want what you want? I'll get you there. Just follow forward. Don't go backwards. Uranus does not like backwards. Okay? So, but Mars and Uranus can definitely bring up kind of like us getting really confused about things, or us starting to go, oh, wait, maybe I need to refigure this all out. What do you need to maybe, yeah, you do need to refigure things out. Are you going backwards or are you going forward? Are you going back to May? And I'm going to show you in the chart and why. But let's look at this too. Chiron 2943 today on Tuesday in Pisces. Okay, this thing is at the end of the zodiac here. Okay, it's at the very end. This is a very hard degree. Look at Neptune. It's in the middle of Pisces. Talk about Pisces and confusion and spirituality and all this like murky and unconfusing energy. It's at the middle. Whenever a planet is at the middle of a chart and at the middle of a sign, I'm telling you, it's right in the middle of it all. And then you add to it Mercury, which is at its fall position, which is going to be here for 60 plus days. And here it is in Pisces. Oh my gosh, confused. Okay, no goggles. And the other thing that if you really look at is, you know, here we got good old Jupe, Uncle Jupe, which is in its home sign, trying to go, yeah, let's go on a great adventure forward. Let's go someplace awesome. Let's go someplace that we can really understand what's going on. But it's being squared still by Neptune. It's being squared now, coming up to this Mercury that's coming up. And I think that it's like, I think we could get too caught up in our own sensitivities in the past instead of going into exciting new adventures. But fear is what comes up. You're afraid. We're all afraid. We're all afraid to go into the new. We're all afraid to go into this new energy. And remember, all the planets are direct. So I'm just going to say, you either go with this now, with all this energy, or you know, I'm not going to say you miss out, but this is about the ultimate test of letting things work, you know, let the past go. So here we are on Wednesday, the day before Valentine's Day, and we got Mars and Uranus. Look at that. Mars will pass Uranus. So 2912 is Uranus, and there's Mars, 2934. So Mars passing Uranus is definitely going to be like, okay, I see it. I'm ready to go. So really, I think it's Wednesday that's like, okay, I know where I got to go, what stuff I need to do. I just need to move forward, and I need to, especially remember, there's that semi-square over to Neptune, okay? I need to not go backwards into the past, and more important than that, I mean, you could actually look at the square to the nodes, right? Where it's like, are you going to go trap yourself into an old trap because you'll feel somewhat safer in that trap or jail when really it's like you really want comfort? Well, comfort is in moving forward into strength of a new direction. Sun's in Aquarius. It's a very important time for you to use this energy about moving forward in the most deepest ways. And Chiron here, 2945, look at that. It's getting close. It's starting to move, and it's ready to leave. But gosh, are you going to get caught up in the deepest, weirdest trap of your life to go backwards? Are you planning to go move back to an old place? You planning to go back to some old situation that you've already done before? You ready to go back to May? And this is where I'm going to show you where the whole May, and even we could even go right now and just look. I mean, look at where Mars is coming. It's covering, you know, the spot in which Uranus went through. And Uranus and Mars are in semi-square to Neptune. So even Uranus is semi-square to Neptune. If you really think that you can outthink a higher divine being, sorry. And even as an astrologer, like no matter how much advice I can give through all this, not even I can give everybody as an astrologer the whole enchilada here. Like, we are all not smarter than this higher dimension, this higher course of action. We just have to like let it play out. Like, this is where the universe is telling you to go, so go. But if you're afraid, if you don't have strength, this is it. This is the last day. Wednesday, the last day of Mars and Uranus and Aries. This is the last day that Troy, the big warrior, gets the electricity of the god of Uranus energy of the heavens and the sky and can go forward. Or are you going to use this and go, I don't want to do that. I want to go back. Let's move on to this energy of the moon in Gemini, which is confusing things a lot on Wednesday because the moon is going to be squaring Mercury. And when you get that, oh gosh, especially with Mercury in its fall position, and you get this energy of, you know, really being, I guess you could say, really kind of confused in circus energy, it doesn't help things. So don't overthink things, except look at the facts of where are you putting your mind and thinking that you're going to go to the past, or where you think that you are going to go into something that really will change in a way. Like, you need to do some fact checking, especially because Jupiter in Sag kind of is extremely hopeful, right? Super hopeful. But the moon is saying, hey, yo, especially with these quincunxes coming over to all this Capricorn energy, right? And the moon isn't going to do anything with the sun until at least we get towards this Valentine's Day energy. So I think it's important for people to realize, don't be over hopeful without looking at true facts. The facts have been very clear, and the moon actually in Gemini is trumping Mercury in Pisces. This is very rare. The moon usually in Gemini is like not very, I guess you could say, smart, because we can let our emotions overtake our mind and not look at the facts. But guess what? Mercury's in its fall position of Pisces. So we are totally lost in the head. So we almost have to kind of follow emotional facts. So go into your emotions and go, factually, what has been said to me? What has been done to me? What is this stuff? And you know, relationships are a big part of this as Venus is coming up towards Saturn. Like, don't start getting all hopeful again of certain situations, of old business partnerships or relationships or stuff that you know is just not going where you want to go, because Venus and Saturn are going to meet up at the end of this Chiron thing. And with Chiron and Pisces at the end, oh my gosh, people start to go, oh, you know, I don't have faith in what the new world will look like, so I'm going to go backwards. Or clinging on to things that are new that aren't even good for you either. But here we are, Valentine's Day. I hope everybody has a good Valentine's Day on the 14th. And Mars is in Taurus. So yeah, sensuality and feeling good and the quality of life. But look at, you know, when you have Mars here at 0 degrees, I mean, like, let's just have some fun and look at, what is this? I think it was May 15th, 2018. Let's do this let's go. Look at this. Uranus went to Taurus. So, 0 degree. Mars now is at this place for the first time since Uranus has entered this shadow zone. We are in a shadow zone of Uranus, because remember, Uranus came here May 15, 2018. I remember it exited in the first week of November and went back into Aries. So there's been this part since November of us replaying the old Aries stuff and the old Aries story, but Mars here is finally over that. And now this week is moving into where we were at May, June, July of 2018. And it's like, are we going to go back and play that tune? Or are we going to start to reevaluate the value of a new road and a new, thing to create? Saturn, Mars is going to be happy in Taurus, even though it's a detriment, because at least it's going to get the power of Venus and Saturn, I guess, but it's mainly going to be Saturn because Venus is going to pass this. But it's mainly going to be Mars and Saturn that are going to meet up halfway through this transit. Remember, Mars is usually on a 40-day cycle, 40 days. So, this is us spending over a month of us really having to cultivate, grow, and create the best life for us. But this is the weirdest week because Mars is over the shadow of Uranus shadow. And when Mars is on a Uranus shadow, you don't want to go backwards. Okay? Look at this on Valentine's Day. That's why I was kind of talking about, if you're a guy or girl, whatever, and you're really into Valentine's Day, like the moon's going to oppose Jupiter. So all the hope and what emotionally is kind of showing up and factually might not be a typical Valentine's Day, especially with Venus close to Saturn. There it is there, within 4 degrees. And then on top of that, you have Mercury, which is getting closer to Neptune. So we do want to escape. And Chiron is at now the end. It's literally within 12 minutes of leaving. Not literal, but in geometry. And so there's a part of this where we do want to escape. And we think that we can create some sort of escape through this Valentine's Day, and especially maybe replay the past of the stuff, whatever you did in your life in May and June of July of 2018. I'm sorry to say, and then the sun will trine the moon, so I think there'll be some excitement. Go have fun, and I don't think it's important for you to not expect so much out of it, or go replay stories from the past and escape yourself into an old story of overhope, especially as there's those squares to Jupiter. So a lot of confusion coming on this Valentine's Day, but if you see it for just having fun and social aspects and chit chat, and maybe even having fun with your friends, or just going out and having a good time, or not taking it so seriously, because Venus and Saturn can overtake too seriously, and how it should be. You didn't come with flowers, and you didn't do this. Oh my gosh. That's where Saturn and Venus don't have a fun relationship, because Venus is like, getting the power of Saturn, which is like, oh, you should have showed up this way. You should have worn this. You should have brought chocolates. You should have gone here. You should have gotten reservations at, this restaurant at this time. And it's like, oh my gosh, So here we are Friday. Now Friday is where things get really weird to me. And it's weird the whole week, but I think it's really weird because, of course, this moon and North Node energy of Cancer. This weekend is going to be very heavily emotional, especially as the sun is leaving Aquarius and it's going to be in sextile to Uranus. It's about moving forward and seeing what really makes sense in a world instead of replaying this old story. There's Mars already, 055. Oh man, that's squaring my sun exactly on that day on Friday. But anyway, here's Venus and Saturn coming closer. This is about building relationships and projects and things that are really going towards the best place for you, instead of this, even though we got to follow this, it's like, are you emotionally just finding comfort in an old story or something that is not taking you forward, but you think it's taking you forward because you're caught up into your own fear of independent, forward, new energy. You're doing what's comfortable, or you're doing what's comfortable from the past, and I'm just going to keep repeating this again, May through July of 2018, okay? Are you going to keep redoing that? You going to get caught up in that shit? I'll show you the weekend. Not the group the weekend. I'm going to show you. Or is it a dude? Why is Weekend a dude himself, or is it a group? Is it just one guy? Weird name, but I do like that he does some banging shit. So I ain't putting him down. I'm trying to understand like the name The Weekend, but it's like a guy. I'm like gonna create a band and call it like The Carpet, and it's just gonna be me. So here we are for Saturday, and look at this Chiron here. Now it's at 29:55. We are at the edge of the edge of the edge. This is one of the last days of Chiron and Pisces for over 4 decades. But here we have the moon which is going to be in a very tough spot. It's going to be opposing Saturn, opposing Venus, opposing Pluto, opposing the South Node this weekend. So this weekend, the moon wants to just feel comfortable, but it's almost willing to go through hell to feel comfortable. Like, why? Why not look? Why look at reality? Don't go backwards with Mars at 1 degree and 36 minutes, because if I like have fun just for a really quick second here and show you. So here was May of 28. Oh, I'm going to have to get rid of this stupid thing here. Okay, here we go. So let's just go a month ahead. I'm going to show you guys this whole thing about, okay, June. Where's Uranus? Oh, 127. So June 15th of 2018? Wait, what is here? This stupid alarm here. Look at this. Mars, 136. So what we are really replaying is, let's just do days to 136. Okay? Let's get to 136 with Uranus. Oh, there's 141. So there it is. June 19th, 2018. What was going on from June 19th, 2018 until, because I'm going to show you how this weekend it's covered. Here's now 2 degrees, July 19th. Mars, Uranus in retrograde in August, okay? But, so let's do days. I think it actually went retrograde in July. Oh yeah, it was August, so, okay. So what, I could actually go to August 7th for you all. But it was, Uranus went retrograde on August 8th and 7th, right there at 2:33. Let's just jump this weekend and show you here this backwards moment. And I just showed you all the moon stuff with the opposition. Here's Mars now at 2:16. So we're very close to the past of what went all the way through July now. Now we're in July's energy, and here's the moon in Leo squaring this. And the moon just was, the last time that the moon was here was a lunar eclipse. So this is closing the lunar eclipse cycle in Leo and seeing if you have the true heart and the courage, just like Uranus and Aries is too, and the moon's going to square Uranus. Like, we need to find the courage of our own happiness and our own security in our own happiness instead of this sun in Aquarius, because look at this full moon energies coming. Even though we're not going to have a full moon in Leo, it is a full moon Leo vibe. And here's all this Capricorn, and here's Venus conjunct Saturn on the exact day that Mars is coming literally on top of where the end of the shadow period is for Uranus. So Sunday with Chiron on the last degree, look at that. Chiron leaves Pisces that night, okay, on the 17th, late that night. Do not freaking screw yourself over. Do not. Please, please, please don't go backwards to all that stuff. Please. Please. I'm trying to help everybody as much as I can. And Venus conjunct Saturn, it royally sucks or is amazing. Because you either learn the hardest lesson of your life, where you do not feel good, and with a moon in Leo, which wants to feel happy and good, it's going to square Mars and Taurus and be like, oh, wait, I don't want that. That doesn't feel good. Because why do you think Taurus and Leo have this whole thing about feeling so good? Because it always feels good to have a little money in your pocket. It feels good to have a lover by your side. It feels good to have a kingdom. And that's why Leo-Taurus energy is all about feeling real good. But are you going to feel real good if you're with something that you don't like? Something that's cold and not working, and from the past it didn't work, and stale? Venus conjunct Saturn is stale Ritz crackers that have been in your cupboard for 2 years with it open. So, if you think you're Frankenstein, or the doctor of Frankenstein, go right ahead and start jolting the past and start trying to bring old stale things and dead things to life. But this weekend is the last call. And what's so interesting to me is Sunday night, when the sun is going to sextile Uranus, it's going to show everybody where the new world can go. And you're going to have to leave your past and move forward, because Mars is going to cross over that shadow period. The moon's going to be in Leo, all bright and lighted, lit up and ready to move forward. And Chiron's going to leave Pisces and move into Aries. literally. That night, it's going to be early morning, but it'll be Monday early morning. So there's a really big thing about seeing what's ending on Sunday instead of trying to hold on to what's ending. And Monday, look at, I did it for you all here. Look at this. Mars, 253. It's already passed. So what I'm trying to show you all is in the chart of Uranus, 233, August 8th. Uranus has not been farther than wherever you went in your life after August 8th. The energy from May 15th to August 8th is what we're replaying with Mars to understand and whether or not we're going to own that. Because Mars in Taurus wants to own that piece. Mars walks into a store. Okay, this is Mars in Taurus. Mars walks into a store like, guess what? I want that. I'm going to buy that. I want that. Let me have it. You know? Okay, you got it. It's like, all right. And then you get home, and it's kind of like when you get this whole thing about how I think today nobody really cares about physical stuff anymore because it doesn't matter what you buy anymore. Like you unwrap the new iPhone or you unwrap something and you get it and you're like, yeah, and then like 20 minutes later you're over it. Like Mars and Taurus will only wait for the antique. It'll wait for the best of the best. You know, like when you special order a car, there's nothing better because it's exactly what you want. And even though you have to have the patience to wait for it, when you get it, everybody goes, damn, where'd you get that? Oh, I ordered it. Why do you think fast food sucks? And why do you think people who cook food is much better? Because Mars and Taurus is like, you can't just rush good food. We're at the point to where it's like, are you going to try and rush to fast food of the past and try and hold on to it when you could go start building a new direction now with on Monday with this whole new energy? Especially look at Chiron's done at the end of Pisces. Look at that, Chiron 001. And that's already at 9:40 a.m. Pacific. So go look at when Chiron goes 0. It's pretty intense. And look at Jupiter at 20. We need to ascend higher, and Venus comes off Saturn. We're out of the Saturn-Venus. Venus is coming to Pluto. At least Venus and Pluto kind of get along a little bit better because at least, you know, Venus learns from Saturn, okay, I need rules and I need a plan. But Venus from Pluto goes, I need to also learn. So Venus is at this in-between midpoint action of Pluto and Saturn, which is the most intense aspect happening in all astrology right now. And we've got the South Node coming towards it. So this is some really crazy relationship project dynamics, either, you know, going on the right road or taking you on the wrong road. And it's all up to you and what you do and whether you want to replay that past from all those situations and you want to move forward and go towards the new world. And look at Mercury and Neptune on Monday. Oh my gosh, Mercury's coming on top of Neptune. This is about whether we are going to end up in a turbulent, crazy storm. Mercury and Neptune together is a crazy, turbulent storm of the past, or the ultimate freedom towards the highest vibration of seeing the universal mirror image or reflection in the water of the future of where to go. So, and then the sun on the last day, we come into Pisces, by the way, on Monday. The sun finishes in Aquarius while on the day that Chiron comes into Aries and goes into Pisces and joins the Pisces party. So we get one little minute here, basically on Monday, where there's Aquarius energy left and Uranus, and then the sun's going to come into Pisces where it's super water, and Mercury's on top of Neptune, and Chiron's now coming to Aries, and now all the Uranus energy basically is done, and Uranus is just remembering, oh wait, I'm at the end of the sign, I am ending this transit, and I'm in shadow period, and Mars just covered all the shadow shit. Now I remembered what the heck I just went backwards in since November. And you move all forward from it this end of the week. And I'll be very real about Monday. This Pisces season is going to be one confusing situation. So, all the confusion stuff, we're all going to enter, and it's all going to work out the way it's supposed to work out divinely. But it's so simple. Like, if it's from that past of May through August 8th or 7th of 2018, and it's all involved with that energy, then you know not to go there. I think on another aspect, though, since Mars is past the shadow point, the new situations that come up that are confusing, if you've gotten over that, is building something that's of true value and having to step forward as Mars does and have the courage to demand and ask for quality, which Mars has a lot easier time doing that in Scorpio. Why do you think Mars is at home in Scorpio? Because it knows how to penetrate to get what it wants. It knows how to use, sales tactics, or it knows how to seduce. Mars in Taurus has to kind of prove its worth. And so we have to prove to ourselves our own worth in a very confusing time of how to deal with some very intricate and weird situations moving forward. But a lot of it is whether or not we're going to continue to carry the baggage of the past and the crazy stuff that's moving forward that's confusing. You can't carry both on this journey, I am sorry, or you are going to come into Monday and go, some people might go mentally psychotic, or they might lose their mind, or they might, lose it because that's too much to hold on to. So, we're going to have to confront a lot of things, and Venus and Pluto coming next week is going to demand that. The full moon in Virgo is going to demand some rearranging next week. And more important than all that, we are coming towards the last 2 weeks of Uranus and Aries. And that is an 84-year cycle. Remember that. And whenever we have outer planet cycles, I don't know if you all remember when Uranus came back to its second ingress into Aries for Fukushima, that's how powerful whenever Uranus comes into a sign. And when Uranus came into Taurus in 34 was crazy with the world powers changing. When Uranus came to 1 degree of Taurus was when Hitler became the Fuhrer. We're coming into some crazy new energy. And if you're going to bring this baggage and the crazy stuff that's coming forward, you're not going to have fun getting through all this. Because I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just saying that the new energy, we need to be out of these past crazy situations and moving forward into building great things and dealing with this new world instead of trying to keep dealing with things that just don't make sense, that God is trying to chuck our own trash for us out the window. So, highvibe.tv by Lightworker School that we're doing on here, but it's not just me. We got tarot on there with Jax. We got shadow work with Sarah. We got human design with Dylan. We got Carl doing holistic health. You're not going to want to miss out. We are doing pre-registration right now with 12 videos for each person. So we're talking about a 60 video here school, and it's super cheap. Pre-registrations right now. We're launching this in March. Go check out highvibe.tv. And of course, go to Amazon, please, and check out my 2019 astrology guide. You guys helped me get it to the #1 best-selling astrology book in Amazon. I'm down to number 3 right now. I'll live with number 3, but my Leo-ness would love to be back to number 1. So if you could please purchase that, you just go to Amazon and on Prime, it's my 2019 astrology guide, and see that most of my crazy predictions in that book are about March and April, which we're coming into. So if you haven't got it yet, it's down to $11 on sale. Go to Amazon.com for that. And of course, my February horoscope is available. And I know that we're almost to the halfway part of this month. So go check it out, though, because if you think the end of this month is not as crazy as right now, you need to see these crazy elements that are coming with Mercury here and Jupiter, and more importantly, the full moon, because there is some major crazy stuff about to come down in this Pisces transit. So definitely you're going to want to check that out. Anyway, thank you for all the support. Thanks for always watching me on futurelife.tv every day. Remember, we're moving that to highvibe.tv, but if you still want to watch my daily videos, go to futurelife.tv. And then, of course, I'm going to be in the Maldives June 1st through the 8th for the Creators Retreat. It's going to be super cool and super awesome. You can hang out with me in the Maldives, and it's actually extremely cheap. I don't know if you know, this is one of the, and I'm not throwing the retreat, by the way, so I'm lucky enough and blessed to just be part of this retreat and be doing a workshop every day during there for 5 days. And I'll be doing it on extreme evolutionary astrology. But you can go find that at the link here on Facebook, or we'll put it on my YouTube as well. And for anything else, go to leoking.com. I want to thank you all for all the support. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for supporting me on all the TV stuff lately. And thank you for the support on the mag, the app, and just even supporting deep astrology. Even if that's what you can do, I truly appreciate that. And if you could share it out there and help me get this information out to as many people as possible, I truly appreciate that as well. Thank you all so much for the support, and I will see all of you for the next Deep Astrology, or hopefully my other horoscopes.